This feature update is relevant for publishers and businesses using Pigeon who deliver to United States addresses. We are now integrated with the United States Postal Database, so all addresses added are now verified against their database for more accuracy and better deliverability. So let's take a look at 3 interfaces in Pigeon that will benefit from this new feature update. First, let's look at this registration form for a subscription. Here we have some data already input. What's your mailing address? We got some information here. Now I'm going to start putting in the city, Cupertino. I'm going to purposely misspell that. We need the zip code, California. Okay, we're going to put in our test card here. There we go. Now let's hit submit. You will notice that I misspelled it as Cooper, T-E-N-O. I'm going to create my account. It's processing, doing its thing. All right, it's been created. Now, the address was close enough to where we needed to be, but let's take a look at the address. Notice that city is spelled correct, so the database check validated the correct address and was able to change it without giving any feedback. Now that you've seen how this works, let's take a look at the address manager and compare a couple of addresses. So now we're in the address manager, and you can see that we have grandma's house here and an address. This is actually a correct address. If I were to drop the city and hit save, it's going to give me an error here that says we're sorry, the city field is required. So if I go and do Bird Eye without the S, it corrects it to Bird's Eye. You can see there's a lot of validation happening. Now over here, we do have an address that is not valid. If I try to hit save, it'll say, review your address below it doesn't seem to be valid. The same validation happens in all address inputs for those who have an address in the US in the address manager, in the registration form, and even if you're needing to make changes in the admin area, it works there as well. So let's take a look at that. We are now in the People Manager, and let's pick Addy Blue here. We're going to go to the plan for Addy Blue, and we are going to edit the address. Now, even with the address changed, let's say you have some addresses that maybe aren't quite up to standard or something like that. Maybe we have something like Apple PL. Let's see how this deals with this change. Notice I took off the zip code extension there. If I hit save, it says, review address. It's a little too different. It couldn't quite make the changes, so let me change this to PK. That was close enough. All right, so the algorithm determined that it could make the change, and now you'll see that it did it correct. 1 Apple Parkway. Plus, it also updated the zip code accordingly. So a super powerful tool to make sure the addresses are much more accurate on the initial input. And if you need to go into your People Manager and have some addresses that may be questionable or are not up to standard, you can go in and hit save, and it will do the validation check and try to correct it for you. So we look forward to this feature helping you to have more accurate addresses and better deliverability on the print side of your business. How do you turn it on for your business? Well, you can go to Settings, Environment, and scroll down here. There is a new option which has Address Validation. All you have to do is make sure that it is enabled. Even if you do have business outside of the US, we do a check on the country whenever people are inputting addresses and if they are adding addresses from somewhere outside of the validation point. That is fine. Go ahead and enable this by default if you so choose.